Hey, it's Greg here with Outdoors on the Cheap, and I'm in the process of raising a seat for a boat seat, the sort of standard post boat seat. I'm abnormally tall, I'm 6'4", and most standard seats are too low for me. It wasn't a big deal when I was in my 20s and 30s, when I was a little more spry, but now I'm 50 years old and sitting in a seat that's basically almost like, compared to me, child-sized, is a bit uncomfortable after a couple hours. So I'm raising the boat seats. Most of these seats are not designed to be, some of them are adjustable, but a lot of them aren't, and the ones on my boat aren't. So let me show you what I got here, and let me show you how I'm solving a really low budget solution. All right, so here's the post. You can see the post there. It's maybe a foot high. I don't even know if it's a foot high. It might be 11 inches high. Of course, the seat sits a little bit higher. Right, so you got the seat here. You know, this here thing attaches to the seat. That gives you an extra, I don't know, ½ inch there. And you got padding on the seat. That gives you an extra ½ inch or so. The seat itself. So, I mean, you might gain an inch or an inch and a half, give or take, with everything. But I'm still, you know, a guy with, I need the thing about 16 inches high, and it's about 12 inches high, give or take. So I need a few more inches. So, you know, I'm sure there's kits you can buy, but I just decided to figure this out myself. And it seems like the solution is, I got a couple 2x6 here and a piece of plywood. Okay. So the idea is that this will attach to the 2x6. Right, and then I'm going to attach, this has to be whatever the term is for that, perpendicular, the two cubes. That way I can, you know, if I have this on as a perfect square, I won't be able to screw into these holes. So by having it offset like this, I can make holes that will match up with these to get it on there. And anyone that's struggling with this problem, they're going to instantly see that this is the solution. Now, the question of how safe this is, how sturdy this is, and so on and so forth, that's my problem, that's your problem. You know, I'm sure there's better materials to do this from. These two pieces of wood, I have glued them together and screwed them together. These these are 2x8 that I sort of stripped down to size. I have them both, I should have attached them cross-grained to create a kind of laminate effect. I didn't. They're both with the grain. I realized that after I glued them together. But they're attached to the plywood and they're glued together. So, you know, I'm going to say there's a reasonably good reliability there. But all that's left to do is get these on and rig that all up. So what I'm going to do, when I put this on, to figure out where to put the holes, right? When I put this on here, I noticed that the holes are roughly a 1/4 inch or maybe 3/8 back from the corners, right? You can see the holes back a little bit. So for here, you know, I'll just make sure this is reasonably centered, right? And then with a marker, I'll mark a spot where I think the hole should go in each case, right? And then I'll drill a hole that's a little bit bigger than the actual screw going through, so that there be a little play. Screws are this diameter, the screws that actually meet up with this, but they have washers. Okay, so the hole can be a little bit big, and that'll give me, by using this diameter drill bit, each hole will have a little bit of give, so I can adjust, because I know this is going to be imperfect. Let's make some holes and give it a go. is actually so close to the wood that I can't put this in all the way with my drill. So these all have to be hand tightened. That's totally fine. It takes a minute. All right, so next stage is to fit this. Just go by eye and make my holes. 1, 2, reasonably centered. 3, 4. All right, now pilot that out good so she don't split. Closer to the edge than I'd like, but it should hold. I mean, only time will tell. All right, so I got these heavy screws and big washers. These washers are a bit bigger than I'd like, but they will accept the screw. They're just wood screws. Hopefully this doesn't split. Nothing for it but to do it, right? Get that in there. Seems to be okay. I won't tighten that too much until I get them all in. You should use stainless steel hardware for this. I can't say that these wood screws are stainless steel. Don't care, it'll last long enough for me. It's fine. I'm using this on the ocean. And I'm sure I'll get years and years and years and years and years and years out of these before they rust away. I could be wrong. If they rust away, I'll replace them. Crank that on tight. There we go. That's on there. Now the only thing left is to try it. Alright, we'll set this on there. Tighten her up a bit. Yeah, it's way better than it was. Of course, it's a bit more, you know, loose. Right, the higher you go, the more, you know, you lose some of that stiffness, right? Some of the stiffness has come out of it. It's got a bit of play in it now, right? Because the longer it is, the more sort of leverage it has against the floor of the boat. So I'm giving up that for a little more comfort. Of course, it's still really not high enough. When you're sitting, the angle that your knee makes with your legs should be about 90 degrees. And I've got less than 90 degrees here. I'm just too darn tall. But the higher I go, the more, you know, tippy this is going to be, which is also not good. So I think I'll try it like this for, I mean, at least I can straighten my legs out. It is better than it was. I mean, I've added about 3.5 inches. And I have a pad I can put on this to get another inch. As a general rule, I like to be about 4 inches higher than normal, but these seats were really low. I think they're even lower than normal. Yeah, it's one of those things where, you know, it's somewhere between, the ideal height I think would be so high, the seat would have so much play, I'd have to add something, like I'd have to tie it into the side of the boat to take some of that play away, and maybe lose the ability to pivot the seat and that sort of thing, which isn't the end of the world. I don't really pivot it too much. I suppose when I'm fishing sometimes I do. Anyway, if you need to raise a seat and you're going to bring it up an inch or 2 or 3, you know, that's a really cheap, low budget way to do it. I can't speak to the safety 100%, but this is a boat. I mean, it's not like you're strapped in with a seat belt and it's supposed to take impacts and that sort of thing. The main thing is, will the seat hold your weight? Will it not break? That sort of thing. You know, always practice boat safety, because boats, almost by their very nature, are not 100% safe. And the higher you are in a boat, the less good that is, right? The lower you are, the safest place on a boat is on the floor, right? Same with a canoe. But of course, there's the whole comfort thing. If you're sitting improperly for an extended amount of time, it does fatigue. your back and your knees and that sort of thing, can take away from your ability to enjoy yourself. Anyway, a simple and inexpensive way to raise a seat. I'm sure there's better ways to do it, but this is functional and reasonably safe. I hope you found this interesting. If you did, please like, share, subscribe. And until next time, enjoy the outdoors on the cheap. Thanks for watching.